You know, this immature citrus fruit here, this is a Valencia orange, by the way. It probably has another, could be harvested 9 months, but it will be almost the other year before this is ready to go. We just call them round oranges. And they're mainly used for juice. And this is exactly where we started with Emulin. We began by looking at what was it that is in citrus that seemed to prevent people from getting diabetes or at least gaining weight. You know, you drink a Coke and your blood sugar spikes way up. But if you take a glass of orange juice, it's pretty level. It doesn't peak nearly as much. So that's where we started out. What is in there? So after, you know, a good several years, we finally identified the compound that is in citrus that has this effect. Now we have actually gotten even away from citrus, and now we use a combination of 3 plant molecules to make up Emulin. There's actually 3 molecules, not just one. They are found in citrus, but we found them in greater concentrations in other tropical berries. Emulin, the 3 compounds in Emulin work together to have this effect whereby insulin is emulated. That's why we call it Emulin. The first thing that happens is it inhibits in your mouth the change of starch to simple sugars. So once we slow that process down, there's not as much sugar, free sugar, to be absorbed into your body, because your body cannot just absorb straight starch. It has to be broken down into simple sugars. So that's the first process. The second one is in the lining of your gut, your stomach and your intestines, there are these little doorways that open up for simple sugars to come into the bloodstream. And we slow that process down too. We keep those doors, not all of them, but some of those doors we close down. Once the sugar is inside your bloodstream, it has to decide where to go. And that's one of the things that insulin does. It says, well, is this sugar going to go into fat tissue? Is it going to go to brain? Is it going to go into muscle tissue? Well, there's a component in Emulin that helps guide this sugar to the muscle tissue and to the doorways in the brain and keeps it out of fat tissue. In fact, not only does it block the sugar getting into fat tissue, but it also prevents the development of fat tissue. And a third part is it causes glucose to leak back out of fat tissue. That's why a lot of people report losing weight in a meal when you have orange juice or grapefruit juice. They lose weight. So another process that happens is that if you try to lower your blood glucose just by reducing the amount of sugar that you take up, it's not going to work by itself, because your body wants to go right back where it was when you woke up in the morning. So therefore, if you don't get enough sugar, your body makes new sugar, and one of the components of Emulin slows that process down. That process is called gluconeogenesis, the making of new sugar, and it slows that process down. That, by the way, is the same way that metformin works, the world's most popular drug for diabetes. And lastly, Emulin causes an increase in insulin sensitivity. Now in type 2 diabetes, you have insulin in your body, but it's just not working. It's not opening those doorways. Those doorways don't show up. But when you take the component in Emulin, it actually, in the presence of insulin, causes those doorways to open up. So those are the 7 points that are covered by Emulin from A to Z. You know, this immature citrus fruit here, this is